What is going on, everyone? Yes, I am back. You probably thought I totally forgot about this podcast, but I haven't. Welcome back to Talking More Wrestling. Hopefully, some of you are downloading this, and hopefully others will just follow suit and just magically appears on your phone. So I'm Larry Mormon, More365 on social media, MOHR 365. And, the last couple of months, with the empty arenas, with the virus, with everything, I kind of been laying low. But I think we're starting to get some peaks as to wrestling kind of making this triumphant return. But my biggest concern, because WWE is still running, AEW, Impact, they're all still running. But what about the indies? What about the smaller territories, as they used to be called, the smaller federations? Well, as you know, I'm not really that keen into the indie scene, but I have my independent wrestling correspondent, the big bad booty daddy himself, Brandon Miller. Brother, what is going on?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. Just got done watching some 2002 TNA.
There you go. The Golden Age of TNA.
I wouldn't
Actually, the
say
early.
that.
No, it's the early. Are they still at the Asylum?
Yeah, so 2002 was the first year in the Asylum. It was their first year.
Oh, that's right. It was, yeah.
And so I'll tell you what I did. I have an app on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's called a Name and a Hat app. So I put every year from 83 till 2019.
Okay.
When this year completes, I put 2020 in it. So I'll draw a year, and then I go and I draw a promotion that I follow.
Oh, wow.
And the first one that I happened to do was 2002 TNA.
Right in the beginning, okay.
And I was like, oh, my God. And I'm like 11 episodes in, and I have to say, the main event scene is weird because it's like Brian Lawler and Jeff Jarrett and the dude that used to be the Wall.
The Wall.
but R-Truth is the world champion, so.
Yeah, he was world champion. Wasn't he the second champion in TNA? He beat Shamrock, right?
Yeah, he beat Shamrock, yeah.
That was weird.
But,
Shamrock.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was really cool to see because R-Truth, that dude's top notch.
Oh,
he
is.
I thought he deserve it.
He's funny now, but yeah, back in the day during TNA, he was one of the 3 or 4 TNA talents that I really enjoyed watching. And I remember getting those TNA pay-per-views. Well, back then we had a hot box, so I may or may not have ordered every one of those pay-per-views, but because they were weekly, they were $10 a week. But yeah, no, early TNA was phenomenal, and I remember when Shamrock won the title, me and my buddies were like, "Really? They're gonna run with Shamrock? All right, we'll see what happens." Little did we know, Jarrett would be like a 19-time NWA champion.
Yeah, the guy don't get a title shot until he books himself to get one.
Exactly. And, I forgot who said it, but that's why AWA always booked either Vern Gagne or Zbyszko as champion, because Zbyszko was Gagne's son-in-law. Because if you can't trust family, who can you trust?
That's true. So. But I just wanted to shout out that if anyone wants to watch early XVII, the 2002 stuff in TNA, if you love AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn, Low Key, Kid Cash, or Raisin Red, or oh my gosh, the dude's name just escaped me. Sonny Siaki.
Oh yeah,
there's some awesome matches on there of those guys. But anyway, yeah,
good stuff though. Good stuff. Maybe we'll have to come back and do a best of during that time. I like the sound of that. Before we actually, you know what? That reminds me, because we talked about this before, and I apologize. Before we get started into the big stuff, I think you wanted to make mention the earlier in May was a little tough for wrestling fans. We unfortunately lost 2 big names, Shad Gaspard, and of course, who I know who you're going to want to talk about here right now. From was she in Stardom or was she?
Yeah, she was in Stardom.
Yeah.
Hana Kimura. So, dude, it sucked because not only did they pass away, but Larry Sanko from 411.
That's right.
And that was my dude.
And I apologize.
Everything.
You always say Larry Zonk, and I'm still always like the guy from American Gladiators. And I don't mean any disrespect. I truly do not mean any disrespect. But I'm always getting confused on that one. But no, it was a rough month.
It really was. That dude reviewed everything. I mean, like, as soon as Raw was in, any pay-per-view, like 5 minutes later, that review was up. Like, that dude was on it. But Hana Kimura, man, that hit me because I've been following Stardom for a while, but I haven't been following it like month to month because it's been really hard to watch them. But they finally opened up the Stardom world to where it's easier to access it. So beginning this year, I was able to like get in there and watch it. So I would watch like some old stuff, but I was following it before COVID hit, and they were gearing up like to give her like the world. Like she was
the push.
Like she was like 22,
yeah,
23.
That's it.
Like it was her and Gilia, and they were both in that match at Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom or G1 Supercard?
Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, they had a match at Wrestle Kingdom? I don't remember that.
It wasn't televised.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. I read about it. Okay, yeah.
Well, hey, that's a good point, though, because Hana Kimura has done something that not a lot of people can say they've done. Wrestled in Tokyo Dome and the Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and she was in the first non-WWE match at the Garden in forever. And I didn't even realize it. You know, I showed up a little late to the Garden that day for the G1 Supercards. Mm-hmm. We were maybe halfway into that 6-woman tag match during the pre-show. And I was unfamiliar with, half the girls in that match. And actually my buddy pointed it out to me that she was involved in that match.
Yeah, man. I mean, she was breaking barriers at such a young age in her career. And unfortunately, what led to her death was she was on a TV, like a reality show that's on Netflix, Terrace House. Okay. And there was a part where she some dude washed her wrestling gear and it messed it up. And
Uh-oh.
she
wait, on Netflix you said the show was?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was it called? Tara's House?
Terrace. It's like Terrace.
Oh, Terrace. Okay. I'll have to look that one up. Okay.
And the dude washed her wrestling gear and she it messed it up and she got mad about it.
I don't blame her. Don't be messing with the gear. That's if it's gonna be, and she was kind of wasn't she getting ready to make a drastic look change to her?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, she had she came with a gas mask and kind of real jungly colors and stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, definitely it stinks. Obviously. Would have been very interesting to see where she would have gone with such a young age. So, any good matches you can recommend, or I know I'm putting you on the spot. So,
man, I know she had one with. Oh, hold on.
I can always edit and post, so don't worry.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this: any Tokyo Cyber Squad matches,
yeah,
like unit matches are worth the watch. And then when she was in Odeyo Ta, which is a game, this is a faction she was with beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my mom just distracted me with a text. If you want wings for your birthday,
nice.
Yes, more wings for my birthday.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna look for this match, but yeah, the whole faction she was in, Odeyo Ta, is stuff from that is definitely worth looking at too.
And just check out Stardom. So
yeah, for real. And too, I was gonna say this because if y'all don't know, what led to her taking her life was people bullying her from that show, from what happened on that show. So
on the from the Netflix show.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
That's what happened. People were bullying her. So guys, just don't be dicks to people, okay?
Yeah, true.
That's a first world progress lesson. Don't be a dick.
Oh, trust me, I know that one now. Holy cow!
And it's just heartbreaking because Larry stated, she was 22 and had already wrestled in the Garden and in Tokyo Dome.
Yeah,
doing things that people don't get to do sometimes, and it's just, oh man, this is heartbreaking. And mental health in wrestling is such a thing. It's a big thing that really gets overlooked, and it shouldn't.
I feel like it's almost nowadays, mental health in professional wrestling can be seen now as the drinking and the drugging during the 80s and 90s. That a lot of wrestlers succumb to, You know, like the boss, Big Boss Man, Mr. Perfect, Ultimate Warrior. You know, I mean, I'm not accusing any of them specifically of drinking and drugging, but all these guys died at young ages, prime in the 80s and 90s, and now you look at, unfortunately, didn't we also lose Danny Havoc?
Yeah, Danny Havoc. That was what, like last week?
Yeah.
So with that, there hasn't really been anything said. Just to give some backstory, if y'all listen on to Danny Havoc, he was a deathmatch legend, been around for what, 15 years, maybe even more than that.
Probably, yeah.
Been around for a long time. If you were someone who went to like the old CCW shows, like in Philly in someone's backyard, he was probably on that show.
Backyard.
about a month ago, his wife passed away. Like suddenly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a whole broken heart. That could do it. I believe that.
And then all of a sudden he passed away. And Matt Tremont has a promotion called H2O. They ran a live show last week, and he did like a little tribute to Danny Havoc. And the way he was talking, it sounded like suicide or substance abuse that led to that. I don't really know for sure. But, you know, it's just going back to the Hana Kimura stuff. It's like you don't know what people go through, you know, and I'm sure Danny Havoc's situation was different than Hannah's because his is probably dealing with a loss of a loved one.
Yeah.
So suddenly like that. And but yeah, I mean it was real sad. Like and Shad too, you know. It's just,
yeah, that was the roughest one. Holy cow. I mean he went out amazingly, unfortunately.
The hero.
Absolute hero, you know, telling everyone to save his son before himself and then to literally get swept out to sea. I mean, that's my biggest fear. That's why I've never stepped in the ocean, is for that very reason, to get swept out into the middle of the ocean. But yeah, you know, remember, folks out there, when you're at the show, you know, you can boo them, you can say what you want during the show, whatever. I mean, for the most part, you can say what you want. But you know, stop being keyboard warriors. And trust me, I'm not responsible, but like I've done that as well. Not to the point where some of these people do it, but just like Brandon said, stop being dicks. So
yes.
But with that, I want to move on to some happier stuff. And kind of the reason why we have the episode here today. As I mentioned at the top, you know, WWE is still running, AEW is running, Impact is running, but no one else is running. And I'm curious, you know, where the indie scene is, because WWE, AEW, Impact, they can survive. They have TV deals, so they're getting all that money. We saw WWE in April cut a lot of talent, you know, just because everything was starting to shut down at that point. And I don't care what anyone says, you need the live gates. That's income. That's income for a bit. As much as these are wrestling organizations, they're still a business, and they're there to make money. So I'm curious, Brandon, you know, places like, I mean, Ring of Honor is like borderline independent. I say they're more on the other side of independent, where they're like an actual big promotion. But Progress, you know, over the top over there in England or in the UK. Over here, you know, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Some of the, I know you got some indies down by you. You know, what have you seen as far as the independent scene is doing? Like, how are they keeping their heads above water?
Well, I think one thing before I get into it with like WWE, AEW, and Impact is that they have those TV contracts they have to fill out.
Oh, true too, yeah.
And like Ring of Honor, yeah, they're on Sinclair Broadcasting, but Sinclair Broadcasting doesn't have a network like Anthem, you know?
No, not at all.
So, like, Ring of Honor can get by with this show and old content, and they have gotten by with that. But, like, just start with Ring of Honor, like, I don't know if you saw it, but they have paid everyone that was supposed to work for them in the next few months. They paid venues.
That's good.
Alex Shelley was bragging about how they paid him for the shows he was supposed to work for them.
All right.
Like, so they've been, they seem to be in a good spot.
All right, so they're honoring contract for a company that was getting rumored that, like, 2020 was not going to be their year.
Well, thank you, Marty Scurll. That's all I got to say.
Blame the villain.
Well, no. Well, it was.
No, I meant like,
you know, yeah,
in a good way too.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yep.
But
yeah. So Real quick before I forget, also, NWA starting to make this huge comeback.
Oh, really? I haven't kept up with that in a while.
Well, they have the NWA Power.
Oh, they're still doing stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't kept up with it.
Wow. Ouch. All right, so we just see where your allegiance lies, not with the NWA and not with Billy Corgan.
I haven't watched it in since I don't know, November, December. I don't know.
That's when everything started going to hell. So,
well, no, everything went to hell when Liger was
This is Brandon has figured out why 2020 has been a major kick in the balls.
God was like, all right, that's it. Liger's done. 2020, you're on your own.
Really? What if something happened, right? Like right after his retirement ceremony. I forgot what
the whole system crashed.
It did. Everything. Just
as soon as that pinfall hit 1, 2, 3, it crashed. It was out for like an hour.
Australia was on fire. Oh, that's right. The pay-per-view just went out. Yes.
Yeah.
It really literally 1, 2, 3, boo.
Like it was over with. Like,
we were texting each other. We were like, what just happened?
Yeah. This is all Liger's fault.
Oh, God help us when he goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But in New Japan too, it's like they can afford all this. But they haven't ran because the COVID was a little more deeper out there.
Yeah. Japan had hit it rough.
I understand that.
So what do you got? Like, what news have you heard? What have some of these companies been doing? What do they plan on doing? And is there any talk of starting to come back?
Well, fortunately for a lot of these companies, this is a different world we live in now, where these indie companies, like these bigger ones that have like a good name for themselves, they actually have been able to make money in the past, and they save their money, and they don't have these obligations, to have to put money out monthly or anything like that. So it's like GCW actually ran a show a couple weeks after COVID stuff hit, and they were doing this thing where you could donate to the wrestlers during the show.
Okay.
And I don't know how well it did, but I know it was it was a success. But IWTV that I talk about a lot on here, they've been helping out, like helping keep them paying wrestlers, and they've added a lot of new content. Like over the COVID, they added Big Japan Pro Wrestling recently.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
Sendai Girls, Freedoms, and some other stuff. So the independent wrestling scene has kind of gotten together under one umbrella with IWTV and ECW, and has they've been helping each other out. But really, it's not the promotions that we're worried about; it's the wrestlers.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people have jobs they can work from home. My 9 to 5, I'm working out of my kitchen, or my dining room, I should say. Yeah, you can't wrestle at home.
No, not at all. And
well, GCW does, but a normal wrestler can't make a living wrestling at home.
They wrestle in their backyard. July 4th.
July 4th, I saw. Yes.
Yeah. But I'm I keep up with a lot of promoters, and I'm for like Black Label Pro. My buddy Mikey, they've been kind of like waiting it out and just getting the interest. Like, hey, if we run a show with these procedures, would you come? So they're still in a good place to run these shows with these handicaps. Like COVID definitely did hurt the indie scene because it took out WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, forget about it. That's a moneymaker.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's forced the indie wrestling scene and the promoters and the wrestlers to get really creative and find ways to get by. And they've done a pretty good job with IWTV and getting other wrestling promotions on. But GCW is running next weekend and in July. And I think that's going to be the start when you see more companies run. But I think the reason why Progress, people that haven't ran, is just because of they don't have those obligations, and they probably won't get as much out of doing a non-arena show because they won't make any money. Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's all about making money, which I have no problem with. That's the whole idea. And I don't know how strict it is over in the UK with Progress. Well, strict meaning how with the COVID hit over there and what the regulations are. But I just know Progress, they keep pushing back. I think they said now October or something. They'll look. That's when I chimed in and I'm like, well, hopefully you guys will still be around in October, since you're not running shows. And then Progress themselves told me to F off. So,
hey, man, first rule.
I don't know the rules. I don't own a gremlin.
There's only one rule.
Don't mess with Progress. Or don't be a dick.
Yeah, when Jim Smallman, before he stepped down, he'd be like, "There's run, roll, and Progress, and it's go back." The crowd would yell it.
So because I feel the reason why I feel like the law over there in the UK has been strict is because I think you would have seen, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a flag bearer, but you would have saw new episodes of NXT UK. So
yeah,
the fact that that's not happening, definitely to me says, yeah, all right, then they got it more strict over there, more of a lockdown.
Well, I'm okay with that because when the things get to normal, we get to see a match I've actually wanted to see for a long time, and that's Jordan Devlin and LDO Phantasma. El
Hero. No, dang it.
Well, he actually changed his name.
That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, but I can't pronounce his original name.
Those are two dudes that I've followed for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
If those don't know, Phantasma was King Corando in Lucha Underground.
Now he's Santos Escobar.
Yeah,
they could not think of a more stereotypical name for a Spanish guy, for a Mexican, than Escobar.
and they lined him up with Raul Mendoza and freaking DJ Z.
They did.
To see my eye on.
I wish I had that. I do not have that noise pre-programmed into my machine on purpose.
Hey, I will tell you this: I'm a huge market for that guy. I'm guilty of that.
When I saw him
I love him.
I saw him on an MTV show years ago. Like, I want to be a pro wrestler.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, all right, this guy has some talent with him.
Then he became an X-Division champ.
There you go. Okay, so Progress or the UK, we'll probably see them come around a little later.
Yeah.
How about here?
I think it's different over there.
I think so too. No, it's okay. Yeah. I truly think it's a lot different there. What about here? Like, I mean, if I mention an organization and you just don't have information on it, don't worry about it. I know them, but like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I mean, they run out of the same building every week.
Yeah, well, every month, not every week.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same situation, I think.
I guess so.
They're kind of, in California, it's a bit more stricter on that.
True.
I get annoyed with it.
It's where you are.
Podcast. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Or there's a podcast I listen to, we watch wrestling, and like those dudes, like today, they're like, "I miss you, man." I'm like, dude, y'all live like 10 miles from each other. Let's go hang out. Okay? It's okay.
It really, really is, folks. I'm telling you. All right, so let me ask you this then. So GCW working some shows. We're probably getting any indies down there where you are in the South.
Glad you asked. It's getting pretty nasty down here. Right now.
Well, yeah.
So I've mentioned this promotion a few times, but our main home promotion is New South. Mm-hmm. And then the secondary, that's Pro South. I don't understand the South. But,
well, because you're in the South.
Yeah. So New South, so Pro South was the first promotion in the state to announce they're going to run.
Okay.
And they announced like about a week and a half ago, they're running next Friday. And they're doing the whole limited, seating thing, spaced out seats, all that stuff.
There will be an attendance, just social distancing.
Yeah.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yeah. Which is what TCW is doing too.
Okay.
Well, after that, New South put out that they were going to be running somewhere. They hadn't announced it yet. Well, then the Alabama Athletic Commission put their statement out on pro wrestling.
Oh.
You have to have a license to run a show in Alabama.
Okay.
So, first thing is, the promotion has to pay them for the day to run. They have to pay for the. Okay, here's what's worse.
It's a little weird.
So Pro South is next Friday, right?
Yeah.
Because of that, no other promotion can run on any other Friday the rest of this month.
Wait, what?
One promotion gets 1 day a month.
That doesn't even make sense.
And New South was like, all right, screw you guys. We're going to run a show at the state line between us and Tennessee. so they're running in Ardmore, which is like, right outside the line between here and Tennessee.
It's like the Prohibition era. It's like, where can we run, a fight club? So that's crazy. I don't even understand the logic behind that. Yeah,
I don't either. And it's caused some drama because, like, I don't want to say much because I'm friends with both promoters, both promotions.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Pro South kind of, like they booked, like, they announced their show before all this got put out. And then all of a sudden, like, there was kind of, like, other promotions were kind of going after Pro South for, like, taking that Friday night. But people think that, like, because it really seems like Pro South knew that was going to happen. And then announced their show. So it's been a lot of drama going around the local scene. But there's a petition that everybody's signing to get the American Commission to calm down. And we've all called them, too. And, like, hey, like, this is bullcrap. You're ruining the scene. Because it is bullcrap.
No, that is. It kind of reminds me a little bit of when WrestleMania 4 was live on pay-per-view. WCW was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to have Clash of Champions. We're going to give this away for free. And that's what they did. Clash of Champions ran the same night as WrestleMania 4. So, but that's odd, maybe a little shady. I'll say that. Brandon's not saying it. But, look, at least there's wrestling. At least something's happening there.
Well, shoot, I ain't going, man. It's 2 hours away from my house. Where Pro South's running next Friday. I ain't driving up for that.
Not worth it.
New South runs like 40 minutes from my house. That's a better drive.
That is a better drive.
But now they have to run in Ardmore, so that's like an hour. But it's okay.
I've traveled further.
Yeah, I have too. I went to Chicago to see Naito.
Nice. Chicago. Naito. I wonder what he's been up to.
Probably drinking a lot of beer.
Probably. Roll with those two belts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather see Naito than the Ace, but that's just me.
Hey. let's not talk about him.
All right, I don't think I've really deep dived into this. How awesome was it to see Tanahashi team with the Rock and Roll Express?
Dude, I can't believe I saw that live. And I'll tell you this, at the time of that show, I had a girlfriend. I'm single and happily single.
There you go.
She was awful. But
right.
I got a picture with Tanahashi. And apparently stuff gets just like put in group text with her family.
Mm-hmm.
And they screenshotted this because I looked 30 times happier in the photo with him than I did any photo with her. So that's how much I love that man.
I'm trying to think if we knew each other. Yeah, we knew. We were talking to each other when I saw Tanahashi outside of the Garden.
Yeah, you always remind me of that.
This is before I knew you were, a nut for him.
Yeah. You just walked right past him.
I did. Well, I knew who he was, but I didn't want to bother. He was already being mobbed by people.
I would have hugged him.
I know you would have, and you would have cut his hair and ran away. Take a lock of his hair.
Well, he gave me a hug when I saw him in Atlanta. It was great.
That's awesome.
He put his hand on me.
It's like he's blessing you.
And then, like, a couple weeks after that, I met Alex freaking Shelley.
Oh, I saw that picture. Yeah, that was cool.
And we talked for like 20 minutes too.
Alex Shelley's cool. I met when he was with the Time Splitters, him and Kushida. I met at it was a meet and greet before Final Battle at that terrible dance hall, Terminal 5 out here in New York City. But I met them. They were really cool. And Red Dragon was awesome.
Favorite tag team of all time?
Red Dragon?
Bar none, yes.
Red Dragon, they are very cool. They were my favorite. They got me, like, once I started going to ROH shows, they were the first team, whether singles or duo, that, like, first ROH talent I really gravitated to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people that listen to this might be, like, into older stuff like you, but, like, my top 3 favorite tag teams are Red Dragon, American Wolves, and Machine Guns, and then number 4 would be Time Splitters.
Okay.
I mean, all the old guys were like, oh, where's Rock and Roll Express? It's
a little past Rock and Roll Express, a little bit past where I am. I'm more like Heart Foundation, the British Bulldogs. It's funny. I was just watching the other day. I forgot which pay-per-view it was. Oh, it was In Your House, No Way Out. It reminded me one of my top 3 tag teams was the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah,
I loved, especially the height when they were in DX. Oh, I love the Outlaws.
I mean, Road Dogg's my uncle, so
I
have told you that story, right?
Why? What happened?
For real? I
I
think Scott Armstrong's my dad.
Yes, you did.
I have. Okay.
So you wanted Tanahashi, but I'm like, I don't see the resemblance.
Well, I think Scott Armstrong legit could be my father.
That is true.
My mom dated him right before she got pregnant with me. So
you did tell me that story. I forgot about that. You might be an Armstrong.
Yeah, but the sad part is that my dad's Scott, not Brad. So.
Oh, fair enough.
For all we know, it could be Bullet Bob.
Oh, I hope not. It would have been a terrible evening. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. No, I'm sorry. That was wrong of me. I apologize. Let's move on, for God's sakes. So let me ask you a question. Do you think the indie scene would have benefited? Because nowadays, YouTube, you can certainly make money on YouTube if you get enough hits, you get enough volume on there. Do you think maybe some of these indie promotions would have been better off putting out new stuff in empty arenas or maybe empty gymnasiums? As opposed to putting out just the old stuff. I mean, how many times for Ring of Honor Wrestling last week did I watch Roosh win the ROH title, lose it to PCO, and then they showed the match when he won it back? You know, like, maybe, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, on the indies possibly running empty shows?
Well, now with everything kind of opening back up and they're doing those limited seating things, I think the indies will run those limited seating shows. Mm-hmm. But as far as like running empty arena shows, like it could have worked out. But a few indies were going to do that, and the state shut it down.
All right, you can't help that, because like all of a sudden WWE was like, WWE is essential, so they're allowed to run. I'm like, what? Even I was like, that's a little weird, but okay.
Yeah, it was.
And do you know where Impact has been lately? Because they're
Canada.
They are up in Canada,
mm-hmm.
And AEW's out in Jacksonville. For a little while, they were in like a small. I don't know if they were on the Hardy compound or.
No, they were in like the practice area. I think.
Oh, okay.
Jaguars.
All right. Oh, that makes sense. That actually makes total sense. All right. Did you get used to the empty arenas during this time? No, you still haven't gotten used to it?
I have a list of matches of the year. None of them are empty arenas.
Really?
Because I don't know what it is. Like, it hasn't been the same. Now,
no, certainly not.
Like it's like, I can even see a show, like for an example, a couple of years ago, they did a Cruiserweight tournament. There was a match to 5 Live, Roger Strong and Hideo Itami. That was my favorite matches of that year. But the crowd was so dead. Mm-hmm. And it ruined it for my friend, but it didn't ruin it for me. But for some reason, no crowd has ruined it for me. I don't know.
I get it, especially in the beginning. Like, in the beginning, it was so weird. WrestleMania, I know we're talking indies, but I can only equate with the big ones because they ran shows. WrestleMania was very weird to watch. And then Raw and SmackDown, and NXT, up until about a month ago, were completely empty. And maybe just because I got forced into it because I'm watching every week, that I finally kind of got used to the empty arena, the quiet, and I think the wrestlers took that time. Like in the ring, there was some more chatter between them, not chatter like the Bella Twins, like all right, Irish Whip, body slam, where they're calling out moves in the middle of the match, but like they were kind of like jaw-jacking to each other, and sometimes it was funny. Sometimes it worked out in the match. Like Bayley and Sasha, I think, were amazing with that during an empty arena. And then AEW ran, but they had their wrestlers in the audience as the audience. So like, all right. And then obviously WWE follows suit, and then Impact is like just catching up to everybody because now they're doing empty arenas. So, I mean, was it a necessary thing? Yes. But I don't know. I think I would have been interesting to see. I feel like the indies could have done something special with empty arenas. I don't know why. Just something about it. I feel like they probably could have really gone off showing some stuff. But like you said, it's kind of depending on where you're located. It's not like an indie can get up and move to another state.
No, but I think showing a lot of back catalog stuff, some of these indies have worked.
That's going to help. Like, I know Evolve was doing a lot of it. That's going to help with getting people familiar with the product. And that I agree with 100%.
Oh, yeah. It's giving people time to catch up.
Yep. All right. So let me ask you this then. So who have you missed the most as far as a promotion during these last few months?
Probably GCW.
Okay. Now, you're big, for those new listeners, my boy here is huge into the deathmatch scene. One of two people I know who are really into
Well, they're not really deathmatch centric anymore, though.
No,
that's what I keep trying to tell you. And
what are you talking about?
Me.
Every time I turn on GCW, someone's going through a light tube.
Because you happen to turn on when it's happening.
It's always Nick Gage.
Like it's such a mixed bag. Like ECW was like, there's maybe like 2 or 3 matches, 2 at the most now, that are death matches, and the rest are just, no DQ wrestling matches. But then they do the tournaments. Like
that's probably when I tune in.
Yeah, they do those tournaments
or show up live.
Yeah, so you're watching the like watch the World on GCW show next weekend.
All right. I heard is the super softy Nick Gage going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's wrestling Nate Webb.
When I'm telling you, when I was watching No Holds Barred with Nick Gage versus Tessa Blanchard, and I'm like, Gage is going kind of easy on Tessa. This is interesting. I don't know why.
Yeah, because people think that he's like a real butthole in real life. He's really not.
All right, that was Brandon Miller, folks. That was Brandon Miller who was saying that Nick Gage is basically a weenie in real life.
No, he's just a really nice guy. I have actually shared beer with him before.
Have you really? That's weird.
He actually talked about, so a couple of years ago there was a tournament in Chattanooga at STI. He actually talked about it on that Q&A you listened to.
Which? Oh, I didn't listen to the Q&A. I just caught a couple of snippets of it.
Well, he actually talked about hanging out, drinking beers with a group of guys there. I was in that
was
group.
You? All right, there you go.
I was in that group.
That's cool. And then
everybody was like really, because it was we had an STI prom, very weird. Well, me and some of my buddies were not partaking in that, so we were in our own little space. Mm-hmm. Nick Gage walks up. Excuse me, I have to say this.
Do it. Don't worry about
it. So you walk in, you see people, you see men in dresses, men dressed up in weird costumes, women dressed up in weird costumes. Nick Gage walks in. He looks around and goes, "What the f*** is this?"
Not his forte, I guess.
No, it was the greatest. Everyone, you hear a pin drop when Nick Gage walked in. Like, everybody stopped. And, so my buddy had a case of Milner, and he was like, "Hey, can I have one of those?" Yeah. So we got talking, and like he was asking my friend Josh what he does for a living. Oh, I work for a Nucor, like a metal plant. We like do machine work. He was like, "Sounds like something I would do after I retire from doing wrestling." Like, what? Whoa,
that's something weird. Holy
Nick
cow!
Gage, blue collar man.
that we, it's. Forgive me for thinking GCW is what it is when the one show of GCW I went to, the cops show up. Okay? So don't blame me. It's a first impression.
That was also like right before they were kind of getting their stride as being like the ECW of today.
I'm like, I'm going to get arrested. I didn't even want to come to this show. There's open liquor bottles outside. And I still don't know who called the cops because it was on the middle of the highway. Some empty building, so in Freeport, New Jersey, or Freehold.
Who knows?
So, whatever.
But I miss them. I miss Progress too.
Okay.
PWG as well, because they're gearing up to do some big stuff, and then I'm pretty sure this is going to affect BOLA, Battle of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I know that this has already affected Progress's Super Strong Style 16 tournament. I swear. If this affects the G1, I'm coming for you, China.
That's my next question I was going to ask you. Which one of these indies kind of really was gearing up for something huge, and then just got kicked in the nads because of this whole shutdown?
New Japan.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little while.
Progress. Well, the indie scene for WrestleMania weekend all got kicked in the balls.
All right. Well, that's true because the indie scene at WrestleMania usually kind of like ends feuds and begins feuds, I guess. As WrestleMania should, except the one show that doesn't do that is WrestleMania, which is odd. But all right. Well, hopefully we'll like you said. Hopefully we're going to start seeing some stuff coming back. The indie scene start coming back. The wrestling scene, big or small. Hopefully just see it start coming back. Let's start getting seats, butts in the seats. I want it. I want to be the only positive thing that can come out of this whole situation is that asshole who sits in the front row every pay-per-view in the green shirt. He's the only guy I hope that I got COVID-19. Beyond that, I hope everyone else is safe, everyone else is good, and I find it kind of weird. Have you heard of any stories of this virus hitting a lot of wrestlers? I didn't even hear much of that even with WWE. A small handful, but no outbreaks or anything.
No, I haven't.
And I'm not trying to get into conspiracy theories. I do that on another podcast. But, you would think at this point now, especially with WWE and AEW, someone would have caught something, but no.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about now New Japan. And New Japan bugged the hell out of me because I was geared up. I was ready for Wrestle Dynasty. I wanted to go back to the Garden in August. I feel like they could still hold that show in August, but they've already postponed it to next year when something else hits. And but New Japan took a different approach during this time off. Right? Well, they did mostly like everyone had a talk show.
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff like that on New Japan World. I didn't watch a lot of it because they didn't subtitle all of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like right in the moment.
Okay, yeah.
But, yeah, they did a lot of stuff like that. And they did a lot of, like, collections, like, put together a list of matches you could watch.
Just kind of like WWE was doing Japan. WWE was doing it, too. Okay.
Yeah, but who wants to watch it? I'm just kidding.
What? I will stop this phone call right now. Best of the Nexus just hit the network.
Yeah, I know.
But New Japan.
Hey, look, I paid for a Mark picture with PJ Black.
There you go.
Justin Gabriel, okay? So I'm a Nexus fan.
Get it right, Justin Gabriel, okay?
The Darewolf. Oh, speaking of Nexus, I have to tell you this.
What?
Rhino dropped a reference to Heath Slater on Impact the other night.
Oh, did he? What'd he say?
Well, Roger, whatever his name is, was trying to get Rhino to be his tag partner, and Rhino goes, already got a tag partner, and he's got kids.
I like that. That's pretty sweet.
So,
that was SmackDown was real good. All right, so yeah, New Japan just announced yesterday from when we're recording their plan to come back to wrestling. They haven't wrestled like pretty much almost everyone else since March.
Mm-hmm.
As Brandon said, Japan got hit hard. For a country that already half the people wear masks in the audience anyway. So now, so now everyone's going to be wearing masks. But so do you have the lineup? What are their plans to get back to wrestling? Because like I said, I am pissed I'm not going to the Garden in August.
Well, the best part about this is that they're bringing it back on my birthday week. My birthday is the 17th.
Happy birthday.
So
wait, 17th of June or July?
June.
Oh, okay.
June.
Yes, happy birthday, my friend.
So next week is going to be awesome. It's like Christmas.
That is next week. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I was trying to do the math in my head. I couldn't figure out what it was. How old are you going to be?
28.
Good Lord, you're just a baby. You're just a child, my friend.
Oh.
Wait till
Uncle Larry.
40 sucks. So what does New Japan have to offer for your birthday?
Well, on the 17th, they're doing this no spectator show. It's called Together Project Special, but there's nothing announced for it.
Okay.
So I don't know what the match is going to be. It's like New Year's Dash, I guess. Like there's nothing announced. But then The 16th is when the New Japan Cup starts. So they're doing that show on Monday, New Japan Cup, and then on the 11th they're doing
on July 11th.
Yeah, July 11th they're doing the Sacramento Hall with like half capacity.
Not even a third capacity.
Yeah, and they're doing Dominion the same way on the 12th.
Okay, yeah, actually, you know what? I just pulled up Dominion here. Okay. All right, well, wait, what is this? Is Naito defending twice? Is he defending both titles at the same time?
At Dominion?
In general, they really never went into what he's going to do, because every time they have like a dual champion, not New Japan, but generally speaking, like when ROH and in WWE, it's like the champion will wrestle twice that evening, one for each title. But I don't know, like, is New Japan just going to put both titles up at the same time all the time? Is that how they're going to do it?
I think we haven't been able to see it because the crap hit the fan.
Yeah.
Right after you won them. But I think eventually he'll drop it to somebody.
I think one of them, you mean?
Yeah, one of them. The IC title. I think he should drop that to the person who wins the New Japan Cup.
We'll see, because according to this, it's a double championship match. The winner of the New Japan Cup will take on Tetsuya Naito. And like you said, that's going to be the first show with spectators, possibly in the world. And when I say spectators, not counting wrestlers. Same with Dominion. So that's gonna be interesting to see just how the fans will react. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have any lineups as far as who's in the New Japan Cup? Any big names?
Yeah. Well, I have the whole tournament right here.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
First, I was gonna go to the first round. Toki Makabe takes on Yoda Tsuji.
Okay.
Not familiar with Yoda Tsuji, but Toki Makabe, he's a legend. Tomohiro Ishii wrestles El Desperado. Toru Yano versus Jado. Tamaoki Hanma versus Hiromu Takahashi, which is interesting that Hanma's in that. And then This is interesting. Okada's wrestling Gedo, who turned on him.
Yeah, that's interesting. In the tournament. All right.
Yeah, so that's going to be good. Then you got Yuji Nagata versus Suzuki.
That's gonna be an interesting one.
Oh, I can't wait for that. And then Yua Uemura versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Gabriel Kidd versus Taji Ishimori, which actually will be really good. And then on the other side, you got Tanahashi versus Tachi, which I hate that that's happening because I love them both.
Because Tanahashi's going to go out in the first round?
He might.
Oh.
Dude. Big match Tachi. Can't touch him. Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr., which is a very interesting match for a first round.
Yeah.
Sabre can win. He's better. Ryosuke Taguchi versus Sanada, who I think... Well, I'll get to that in a second. Sho versus Shingo Takagi, which... If y'all don't know Shingo, you need to. That's all I'm going to say. Hiroshi Tenzan versus Yoshihashi. Yo versus Bushi. Satoshi Kojima versus Evil, which is going to be awesome. And then Goto versus Yujiro Takahashi, which Takahashi would probably die. A lot of people in this wouldn't be in this if it wasn't for COVID. Like
I was going to say.
Richard Ospreay, Richard Juice Robinson. Well, Juice Robinson's got better things to do. He's dating Tony Storm now. So.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something better to do. Yeah. But I was going to say, very no Westerners really at all in the tournament. Short of like Zack Sabre Jr., not that he's a Westerner, but meaning like not Japanese, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Him and Gabriel Kidd, the only ones who are foreigners.
So
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice throwback for New Japan. Because I feel like New Japan kind of, especially with the Bullet Club and Kenny Omega with his dominance in New Japan, it's kind of nice to see it back to tradition, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be cool to see some of these older guys I do think that I want to say Hiromu Takahashi would win this, but I don't know because he already has a match with Naito. He's supposed to have it with Naito before this happened.
Okay.
But I actually could see either Sonata or Shingo getting the win. Sonata because he's been given so much in the past couple of years. He'll match with Naito. So I feel like they're going to do this whole like Naito's going to wrestle Los Ingobernables. Okay. He'll wrestle Hiromu, he'll wrestle Sonata, he'll wrestle Shingo. But I think Shingo should definitely win this because he's been on this hot tear recently. But I think what would be really awesome, Zack Sabre Jr. should win this again. He's won it once.
Okay.
Should win it. But then he should beat Naito.
Really?
He should.
Wow.
He should be. It'd be something different. It'd be because you would kind of have like, you'd have your essentially your King's Road strong style champion, kind of a throwback to how old New Japan used to be, where it's just old strong style based. And I think it'd be awesome because he's beaten all these guys before. When he had that run a couple of years ago, he was on as the ace killer, but then he didn't beat Okada, which sucked. But he beat Tanahashi, he beat Kota Ibushi, he beat Naito, beat Sonata. And the best part about Naito, when he beat him, he walks back in the back with a beer in his hand. He goes, "Who's trying Creelo now, dickhead?"
I think I remember that.
And then when he's wrestling Kota Ibushi, he was like, "These people are freaking ignorant. Like, when he comes flying at you, don't just stand there. Move out of the way. If he comes flying at me, I'm moving out of the way."
It's kind of like
he did.
It kind of takes the same mentality as Colt Cabana does in a match.
Yeah. And sure enough, I remember that match. Kota goes to do something, and Zach's like, "No,
I'm good. I'm good right here." I'd like to see Evil win it. I like Evil. And
yeah, I like Evil a lot.
I'd like to see him win the whole thing, even win the title, maybe down the road. But I'm sure they're going to give. I feel like they're going to give like anyone who's champion right now. Yeah, fine. I don't know if they're adding these days onto their championship reign. I'm sure they are, but like I hope they don't just come out and start changing titles for the sake of changing titles because there's a crowd again.
Yeah, I don't think they will. Yeah,
let's get those runs in. All right, fine. They're going to be technically longer than they probably would have been, but whatever. Just again, it's a start to get back to where we were.
Yeah, for real. So, but I'm really happy to see them back, and I think this is going to be the start of more companies running slowly but surely.
Yes.
So while we're on New Japan, I'm asking this because it's pretty New Japan heavy.
Okay.
Would you like to know what my favorite matches of the year so far are?
All right, we're almost halfway through the year. How many you got?
Yep. I have 12.
Oh. Let me ask you this. Do you want to save it for next week?
Well, because you think that Edge and Orton is going to make it on my list.
Listen, it is the greatest wrestling match ever before it happens.
Well, I can say being who I am, I don't think any of these shows coming up will probably, because the crowd situation.
You know what? Let's do it. You know what? Now I'm curious.
If Orton and Edge makes it, I'll let y'all know. But it probably won't. It's already been taped.
Has it already?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I will say this. I know you don't read websites, but I'm telling you this anyway. I don't know anything that happened, but I do know that a few people have said Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles is something you shouldn't miss.
That's SmackDown. That's tomorrow.
Yeah. So I've heard that was something.
That I believe.
Yeah. That's probably good. So at number 12, got Kenny Omega versus Pac in a 30-minute Iron Man match from Dynamite.
Okay.
11 is Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil from New Japan, New Beginnings in Sapporo.
Okay.
10 is Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak from the Chamber.
Oh, that was such a good match, Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, it was awesome. Number 9 is Hiroki Goto and Ishii versus Shingo and Evil at New Year's Dash.
Okay. So
and number
Ishii's
8,
making a couple spots already.
Oh yeah. This next guy will too. Hiroki Goto versus Shingo Takagi for the Never Openweight Championship from New Beginnings of Sapporo.
Okay.
You've been hearing that guy's name a lot, Shingo. 7, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Lucha Bros for the tag titles on Dynamite. They had a clean finish. I'll never forget that.
I don't even know what that is.
It just looks so clean. You know that finish where they do? It's like the lariat into the knee.
Okay.
They hit Pentagon so perfect. Like, it was
just flush.
Like, yeah, it was great. Number 6 is Jon Moxley versus Suzuki from New Beginnings for the United States Championship.
Oh, I didn't see that match. I wanted to, though.
There's one part where, like, Moxley pulls Suzuki up and goes, "We're finishing this, mother effer," and kisses his forehead, gives a chair. Oh, my God. It was awesome. Number 5 is Hiromu Takahashi versus Dragon Lee for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship from a New Beginning in Osaka.
Okay.
Number 4, Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate from TakeOver Blackpool 2.
Yes, that was a good match.
It was so good.
Yep.
Number 3 was Will Ospreay versus Hiromu Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship from Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep, that was another good one.
Do you want to guess what 1 and 2 are before I get to it?
I'm going to guess one of them is the Stadium Stampede from Double or Nothing.
No, I don't. I'm not doing those on you know me. I'm a
the Boneyard match.
No, you know me. I'm a work rate guy. I don't. That stuff's fine and all, but I wouldn't put that on the list for me.
There's no WWE matches so far.
There was an NXT match.
Those are NXT. That's not WWE.
And the Chamber.
Oh, okay, that's true. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. What do you got?
Number 2 are Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Young Bucks from Revolution.
Okay.
Which was probably one of the best tag matches ever. Number 1 is a sleeper for a lot of people, but everyone needs, including you, Larry, needs to watch this match. It was Shingo Takagi defending the Never Openweight Championship against Tomohiro Ishii.
Ishii, man, there's a reason why he's called the Stone Pitbull.
Dude, he could murder Brock Lesnar if he really wanted to.
Oh, wow.
Just insane.
Wow.
But everyone should go watch that match. If you just love this burly men just beating the heck out of each other and enjoying it for some reason, don't sleep on that. It was so good. So that's my list.
So far, and that's only the first half of the year, barely the first half of the year.
That's June. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it might change after this week because of the Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and DCW. It might. I don't know. But.
We'll see what was your thought? Did you see Thatcher and Matt Riddle? Not the cage fight, the one-on-one they had before that.
Oh yeah,
the night they lost the tag titles.
Yeah, that was really good. They had one in progress a while back that was super duper good. And they've also wrestled in Evolve too, so like
I think I saw him in Evolve, yeah.
Yeah.
I started watching Evolve when Thatcher was champion.
You remember the match with him and Gulak? When they tore the ring like apart?
I saw some of that. I saw in person Drew Gulak and Timothy Thatcher in Brooklyn in a gymnasium that was easily about 174 degrees. It was the same night as one of the takeovers in Brooklyn. It was that afternoon. I mean, it was sweltering hot in this gymnasium. And the two of them had this mat classic that, it's like so good that everyone was bored except for the true wrestling fans.
They're talking about.
Like, all the kids were bored.
Yeah.
And, like, people who just showed up because of their kids were bored. But there was maybe, like, 7 of us who were like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about that match was awesome.
I think that was the night Joey Styles debuted in Evolve before being kicked out of Evolve like 3 weeks later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so so that was a good one. But their match from NXT a few weeks ago was very good as well.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that's a good... And you'll be back at the end of the year, or I guess the beginning of 2021 for your...
Can I come back? I want to come back more.
You can come back whenever you want. I'm not holding off until then. Trust me, you can come back whenever you want.
What's happening next week? You said about next week.
Well, next week you just ruined, so I don't know now.
Well, we can
talk about the greatest match ever that's going to happen this Sunday at Backlash between Edge and
Backlash. Backlash is in the Impact Zone because the main event, like the title match, is an Impact title match.
They just showed that match. They put that match up for free on Impact's Instagram page.
I wonder why.
Drew Galloway and Lashley for the title.
I wonder why.
Hey, listen, the same reason why people were complaining about Moxley and Brody Lee. Like, I saw this match 4 years ago already. Like, shut up.
Well, it's like people were like the Rollins and Kevin Owens Ring of Honor it was like, hey, you didn't like the Mania match? Well, here you go. And they put their match from Ring of Honor, which was 10 times better.
I mean, I like the Mania match for a WWE match. Their Mania match was really good for WWE. But yeah, I'm sure they okay. Actually, I just saw something. They just put up a match. Kevin Steen against someone I didn't even know was in Ring of Honor. Oh man, I can't remember it now. Now this is going to bug me. I think it was on their Instagram. I'm just going to take a moment here.
Oh, Deonna Purrazzo debuted on Impact the other night.
The Virtuosa.
Mm-hmm. I marked out. I love her.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about that? I know it's been about 2 months now, but that just drop in talent, except for Drake Maverick.
That was weird, but I mean, it sucked. But I think these people are going to really strive. They're going to thrive real big in the Indies for real.
I think so. I agree with you. No, I don't know what match it was with Kevin Steen, but nevertheless. All right, yeah, we'll be back. Well, trust me, I think we may do this more often. Actually, we will do this more often. But yeah, Backlash is this Sunday.
Whoa!
What
yeah, breaking news!
Oh no, what happened?
ICW is running in Atlantic City on 4th of July.
Really? Same day as GCW? Uh-oh.
It was at 8 p.m., so it's way after.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Really? All right, so ICW in Atlantic City. Are they talking about any rules or regulations?
I'm sure there will be, but you need to go because a dude I've been talking about a lot that's from Tennessee, Brad Eisen, he's wrestling Eddie Kingston.
I like Eddie Kingston.
That's going to be... If y'all are familiar with Brad Eisen, you need to be. That dude, if you like the bruiser type like Eddie Kingston, that's your guy.
All right.
He's incredible.
There you go. The Indies are slowly making a comeback. Thank God. All right. Brandon, as always, it's an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast. I love talking the Indies with you. And
man. I always love it.
Where can they find you if they want to try and hit you up on some indie knowledge?
Oh, before I do that, I went to their Instagram, ICW. There are a limited amount of tickets available, so people can go.
All right, good. There we go.
Wait. There's two events?
Oh. Now what? Don't be confusing the audience.
I guess they're having two shows. I don't know. It looks like they're having
for the
two
weekend
shows.
Or just on the 4th of July.
Oh, they're having one this month.
Oh, all right.
And they're having one in July.
There you go.
And this month they got Nick Gage wrestling Casanova Valentine.
That should be interesting. I saw him at that No Holds Barred pay-per-view, that first one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that should be fun. So, yeah, if folks, Atlantic City, I don't know how far it is from you, but
3 hours, 3.5 hours for me.
It's worth it for Nick Gage.
I'll tell him you said hi.
Yeah, tell him I said hey. Find me on Instagram at The Changing of Times, Twitter at Brandon W. Miller. You can find my voice over at Victims and Villains, where I write and co-host sometimes. So, yeah.
Sounds good. And, of course, again, you can find me virtually almost everywhere, even though I'm kind of taking a social media break for a little while. But you still hit me up, More365, MOHR 365. And looks like we will be back next week talking more wrestling. See you guys then.
Peace.